You're listening to Power Stance Gaming Podcast, the #1 podcast for gaming and hobby banter, with your hosts, Jacob, Greg, and Muddi.
G'day everyone, Jacob Connor here for Power Stance Gaming. What a real pleasure to be here in our southern studio, Studio Del Sur, as Greg and Muddi roll some fluffy dice on the floor here. How are we doing, lads?
Not very well. I got a 2 and Muddi got a 3.
I got a 3.
That's kind of the best roll I'd have a week if that was
I have to
me.
do it again. Hang on. Oh, for God's sake, a 2 again.
I think it's loaded.
I'm going to put some wrist in it.
Do you know what? This is just classic PSG banter right here.
5! You've beat me twice.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in and watching us roll dice here tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Fluffy dice.
It'd make a good video on the YouTubes.
It would.
It would.
People pay good money for that.
People have hit us up to live stream the cast.
What?
You know that?
Are they insane?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
How
right
much?
there.
How much?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Buy a t-shirt, we'll talk.
Okay, cool.
I think it's more like, can they buy Muddy's shorts afterwards?
Well, this conversation just took a turn for the Greg.
Jesus.
I'm just saying.
How you doing tonight,
That's-
Mr. Greg, anyway?
I'm doing good. I'm happy to host and glad to have you boys here.
Hey!
How's that beanbag going, Muddy? Is that...
It's pretty noisy. I'm going to have to get off it.
I'm sure the mics won't pick that up.
Not at all.
I think they will.
You doing good?
I'm good.
All right. So, I think we're settled in here now in the new studio. It's pretty tight.
How's the lighting?
It's the mood has been set. Let's just put it that way.
Bow.
Chicka wow wow.
That moth's trying to rape Jacob.
Just offered to buy me a drink. I don't know what you're talking about.
Speaking of drinks, we'll have to get one later.
Definitely.
Got the
Definitely.
old bitter
Ooh.
chilling. What do you got tonight?
Cordlings. I'm sponsored by...
You should be.
Oh,
Should
I
be
should.
slinging some coin your way.
They should.
All right, so tonight we're really just part 2 of our last episode. There wasn't meant to be a 2-parter. It kind of
So this is the Bravo episode.
the Bravo episode.
Yeah, that would have been A. This is
Yeah.
B.
Yeah. this-
And if we take forever, it could be a C.
There's a couple of C's right here. Let me just drop that in. So we thought we'd straight through the news tonight. And
Well, we
just
haven't
get
done enough news?
right in the meat. No, 2.5 hours is probably enough news. Tide the audience over. But before we get into it, lads, we've been up to anything exciting the last 10 days since we last recorded?
Well, pleased to tell you, gents, I'm sure you've been watching it. I'm sure you've been glued to your TVs. Super Rugby season's back on. So it's been awesome.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So the old Reds played on the weekend. Lost, unfortunately.
Got a new coach, haven't they?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, no, Brad Thorne coached last year,
Yeah.
but pretty much a real young team this year. So,
Oh, so they got their excuses.
yeah, well, they lost on Friday night, unfortunately. But, yeah, it's been great that rugby's back
Who'd
on
they
TV.
play?
They played the Highlanders in New Zealand.
Oh, yeah.
New Zealand.
I thought we were losing half our sides or something.
No, we lost one team.
Oh, we
team's
actually
been
did lose one.
disbanded, yeah. That
That
was
was Perth, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's usually the first team to go, right?
Yeah, well.
And you'll be pleased to know that Wales beat England on Saturday morning.
I am actually pleased to know that.
I'm sure you're stoked.
My spirits have lifted.
But don't they all just play together later anyway? So
Well, it's a World Cup year, but just
that's
to,
like a state of origin.
just to give you some context.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Ireland beat Italy, but Ireland lost to England. So at the moment, Ireland's still got a sniff of taking out Six Nations. Still got a sniff.
Oh, that's wicked.
But most importantly, hopefully, Wales, if Ireland doesn't get it, Wales will take it.
So as long as England doesn't get it, is that the gist?
Just quietly.
Who's in the Six? I've got no idea.
Italy, France, Scotland, Wales, England, Ireland.
Oh, right. Okay.
So big rugby weekend.
Wow. Looks like it.
Massive.
Cool.
Speaking of football results, Friday night, Brisbane Roar 5-3 over the Mariners.
That's mental.
The bottom 2 teams put 8 goals on the board, so
What?
it's probably why they're bottom of the table.
Oh, right.
Was it home
Well,
game?
No, it was down at Gosford.
how long's the soccer been playing for?
That must have been round 20.
Oh crap! I've completely missed the season. I thought it was just about because it's opposites of the main football.
Yeah, because they couldn't compete.
Yeah, that's right.
So
what are how are the Sydney Blues going?
Second.
Second. Oh,
Yeah, they had a cheeky win over Wellington on the weekend.
Oh, everybody beats Wellington.
Oh,
don't
not
they?
lately. Wellington,
really?
They're having a good season, actually.
Better test their water.
Mm.
And what about the Wanderers?
Oh, yeah.
Not so good.
Not so good.
Oh, that's all right. I'll go for the Blues anyway.
They're one above Brisbane,
Oh, everybody's above Brisbane by the sounds of it.
apart from the Mariners now.
Yeah.
do you pick your teams by like the colour of the jersey? Oh, I really like that jersey, so I'll go for that team.
Pretty much. First, it has to be a New South Wales team.
Well, he found out there's 2 Sydney teams.
Yeah.
He's like, is one of them blue? I was like, yep. He's like, all right, that's mine.
Well, I wanted to go for the Wanderers because I'm from Western Sydney, but as soon as I saw the Sky Blues,
You fell in love.
It's the blue. Straight away, I'm like,
I also took him to a Wanderers game, and what happened?
oh, they were singing songs about balloons.
What?
The Brisbane supporters. They were singing a song about a balloon.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know the?
Yeah.
You know the song?
I know the song.
Go off you go.
No, I'm not. No.
So what's
Tee it off.
that
Oh, it was just one of the,
With
the
the
active
soccer.
support
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
chants. So,
Yeah.
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 It's a bit of banter.
Yeah,
Bit of
yeah,
crack.
yeah.
The Wanderers were getting into it though.
Yeah, Wanderers
pretty
good.
Yeah.
Well, they have been.
Lost
They're
though.
kind
That
of,
was a close game though.
yeah, yeah.
think
But the Wanderers, that like their active support in protest,
Yep.
they don't show up to the games anymore.
Really?
So like they had the game on, would have been yesterday. We were watching them,
Yeah.
and there was no crowd there, no singing, no cheering. It was like
Is that because they're always getting in trouble for the flares?
part of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a bit discriminatory. Like
Yeah.
it's culturally.
Yeah, maybe not. But yeah, that's crazy. Not turning up to a game
Yeah,
to support your
so-
team.
Well, if you can't go and have fun, well, what's the point of going?
Can't throw a flare.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
What?
Let's have a riot in the
It's not going to
streets.
hurt anyone.
Yeah, not technically. Not
No.
if you
That's it.
point in the right direction
No.
after 10 pints.
10 pints will hurt someone.
Yeah. It's Western Sydney, so there's 10 pints and a little baggie of MDMA, and
And the knife that you got in your pocket or in your sock.
So you're missing out at the moment. No, of that funny football that you watch that
Oh,
nobody watches up
no,
in
they
Queensland.
just had the AFL X or something
What?
on. It's some they played on it's like on the size of a rugby league ground or something. Yeah, it's some
Yeah.
new. It's some new spin-off thing they're trying. I didn't watch it though.
Hang on, so they're playing on a rectangular surface, or did they put
Yeah.
an oval
Yeah.
in the rectangular surface?
No, I'm pretty sure it was it's a rectangle surface, and in the goals, you know how normally they're obviously round.
Yep.
They're square as well, but they've got like 10 points or something for kicking a goal from a different part of the ground and whatnot. They're just trialing because they used to have the old NAB Cup, which they would trial different rules.
Oh, right, yeah.
So
okay.
they're just trying to spice
so
things
this
up
was
again.
kind of like Big Bash AFL.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
basically.
right.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
And they all
Right.
came in like superstars and
Ooh.
all
Yeah.
this sort of stuff.
How do you
yeah.
feel about that? Like
Oh,
it?
it
or-
does. It's not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like that with the Big Bash. It's taken me 10 years to get used to 2020.
I don't get the Big Bash because it doesn't feel like a real team to me.
Big Bash is brilliant. It's so good to go to live.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it.
It's such a money spinner. Like people
Yeah.
love it. Yeah,
It's great. Yeah,
Because
but
it's quick.
It's great.
yeah,
It's a spectacle to go to.
Yeah.
With the fireworks and all that sort of stuff. It's really good.
yeah.
Music and all
You got
that. kind of-
cheerleaders.
Cheerleaders.
Yeah.
It's got the pool.
Dude,
And
back in
Gabba.
the day at the SCG, they used to have the cheerleaders as a young fella. He just falling in love every weekend.
These are like 16-year-old
Oh,
cheerleaders.
okay.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
anyway.
move on to.
Thanks for that.
It's the mood lighting down here. That's what's doing it.
Yeah.
Jeez, when Greg's getting seedy,
I know.
something's wrong. Jeez.
I have a question for you.
Me? Yeah. Okay.
So we had Valentine's Day,
Uh huh.
right? And to the PSG chat,
Oh,
Yep.
you posted up Dread and said you were going to watch it. Did you watch it on Valentine's night?
Yes, I did.
You legend. Oh, how good's that? How good your missus?
Oh, she was breastfeeding. I don't know.
All right. You didn't watch it with her? All right.
That sounds like Valentine's.
Yeah, with a 7-week-old baby in the house, there's not a lot of romance getting around the place.
Valentine's is dead.
Yeah. Anyway, what did you think of Dread?
Oh, mate, what can I say that I haven't said
you've-
a million times before?
You've seen it
First time
before.
you've seen it, or you've seen it?
Oh God, no.
No, he's seen
No,
it heaps of
I've
times.
Probably a
It's
dozen,
only aliens.
a dozen times at least.
Yeah, I'm up to. I reckon I'm certainly double figures with Dread. Definitely double figures.
See, mine would be Serenity. I've watched that so many times.
Yeah. No, it's so good
Oh,
Is that Firefly?
Yes.
That I haven't seen?
because
Yeah,
they
okay.
killed the TV series, and the TV series was really popular, but they
Yeah.
killed it. So Serenity is basically
This is the movie you
movie
said
for
don't
that.
watch with the kids because it could be it's a bit edgy. There's a
yeah.
couple of
You
bits.
don't want to watch it with the kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to watch Dread with the kids either.
No.
too. No, you don't.
No. Or Venom, apparently.
Oh, I don't know about Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be. That's more of a comedy, I think.
Okay.
From what I've heard.
Yeah. Five Nights at Freddy's.
No, you don't want to watch that. No, definitely not. That's got horror written all over it. So, I've also been 3D printing.
Ooh, oh.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I've actually got my printer to work.
You got it to work, or it's doing good stuff?
I got it to properly work, and I now understand. I'm now one step closer to understanding how 3D
Did you
printing
hire
works.
someone to come around for the day and show you some stuff?
Did you get on Fiverr?
You know what it was? It was a Brisbane 35-degree day that fixed it.
What? So you didn't actually do anything? It just
No.
Hey,
No.
what was wrong with?
Heat. The resin needs to be warm. I didn't realize that. So apparently on the forums and that, everyone's talking about resin heaters, and I thought, oh yeah, we'll live in Brisbane. Like surely 29 degrees, 30 degrees, that should be more than sufficient to keep the resin nice and warm. No, not at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it needs to be a few degrees warmer. So I'll be punching out these beautiful prints.
I did see the one you posted to the chat. It looks very, very tidy.
So it prints to it's getting so with the new software release, it now prints down to was it 5% of a millimeter, so 0.05 of a millimeter. That's the layer it prints out. It's spectacular. It's amazing.
That's really small.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Plus,
I'm feeling massive right now.
Yeah.
the shout out to Pioplay. They brought out some software, which you had to use a third-party software to put on your struts to print. And with this software, it is so much quicker and easier. Like the previous third-party one was so painful to use. So between that and just jagging this 35-degree day, it's just all the pieces just. I could actually hit print and know it was going to print out. Whereas previously, I was hitting print and I was just getting sometimes like a blob of resin or a finished miniature, but it was all like fractured, it was all cracked because the resin was curing. So
As it was printing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, and then it just because it's like you're dealing with fractions of millimeters. That's just enough for it to create these hairline fractures in the resin.
And you're constantly then probably looking at the printer and seeing what it's doing and stressing a little bit over
Well, I
it because
just
you
didn't
just
know
don't know
it-
what it's doing.
I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I was just like, but hang on, the software's correct. It's printing fine. The settings are right. Everything's fine. But yet it's still the models are just rubbish. So, but now they're just fantastic. Look great.
Good work.
Looks so good.
Yeah, well done.
Super
It's
stoked.
stuck in there, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
persevered.
Yep.
It's almost like a woman. It's almost like I'm almost understanding it, but not quite. There's finer mechanisms.
There'll always be some enigma around it.
That's right. It's almost like a science that I just don't get.
It just needed a little bit of heat.
And the settings were fine
Just
tuned.
needed a warmer up a bit. Oh crap! It's that mood lighting again.
It's the mood lighting. It's kicked in.
How you doing?
Oh, speaking of kicked in, if I sound a bit snuffly tonight, I've got a bit of a head cold. And I took a bunch of stuff to clear my sinuses before. And now I'm just seeing yellow really vividly. So,
Was that acid?
don't know, there wasn't a label on the baggie.
That's always the best kind.
Yeah. So, apologies in advance, listeners, if I'm a bit nasal tonight.
I actually just want to chime in. Just want to clarify something that we mentioned last cast
Oh, here we go.
about the ninth age. I just want to confirm that I was correct and that the Kickstarter was cancelled.
Yeah. So one was cancelled.
Yep.
And the second one, I think, failed.
Yep.
Yep.
So I
Although
wasn't too
strangely
sure.
enough, I think the first one actually was funded, but they cancelled it.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
What else? And I think what else was it? What else?
Can't remember. Can't remember.
He won't give it to me, really.
No, you won't.
Yeah, that was miniatures. I think there was different options.
Yes.
Yeah, there was some you could buy
Yep.
in miniatures, and others gave you discounts or something like that. And I think there might have been some terrain in there as well.
There was
I think it might have been
2D printed terrain.
Yeah, I think it might have been PDF.
Yep.
PDF
Cut it out.
terrain.
Yeah, cut it out. put it on the table.
Also known as 2D.
Hey, DT.
Can you still defend a wall in 2D?
Yeah.
That's good.
It's still got a footprint.
So, what have you been up to, Greg? It's not just 3D printing on the go. There seems to be some sneaky miniatures hitting the painting desk.
Yeah. Been
About time.
between work and whatever else, been sneaking in a bit of brush time, which has been great.
I like that he snuck in the whole crew instead of little dribs and drabs.
Yeah, here's just my entire 7th Cab
Yeah.
crew.
Well, there's only 5 of them. So you just alluded to it. Pin up the 7th Cav for this Tombstone, isn't it? We're playing.
Yeah, Tombstone.
Yep.
And
And the historical.
yeah.
The Western one.
And even possibly Strontium Dogs.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because you can use it's
miniature
miniature
agnostic,
agnostic.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yes, you've got the Strontium Dogs models, but the dudes travel back in time. So it's not necessarily they can't travel back time to a Western to pick up some nasty cowboy that's also going back in time.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got terrain for it, yeah?
Well, yeah, I've got a lot of terrain.
Got a Western town there? What's the name of the town? Have you got a name?
Yeah, I just modelled it on Deadwood.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, you know what we'll do?
What
If
do you do?
Remind me. I'll give you the Strontium Dog book so you can read.
Oh, I won't forget, yeah.
Because I'm not going to have time, certainly over the next couple of weeks, to reread the rules.
Yeah.
So it'd be good if you read them as well. So that way the two of us,
Yeah, for sure.
when we get to play it, then
Because you know I'm not going to read it.
yeah, well, you won't read
At
it.
least,
and
yeah.
my knowledge has got gaps in it, so you'd
Yeah.
be the freshest one.
So, yeah, we'll definitely hit that up because we've got a review incoming very, very soon.
Yep, in about 3 months' time.
No. When Greg gets the miniatures painted.
Yeah, so it'd be pretty cool. So yeah, painted them up. They're painted really quick. Like I don't know how you went with your dudes.
Oh, beautiful. But then I'd been painting 172.
Yeah.
So you put a 35mm model in front of me and it's like finger painting back in kindergarten.
Yeah.
This thing is like so much room. Oh, look at the detail. It's amazing.
That's fun.
I think one thing
Yeah. I've gone from painting Highlander kilts at bloody 20
Imagine if you had gone straight from that to a Rumble Slam figure.
Well, the Tombstone miniatures
They're
is a
pretty
similar
big?
scale, yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
as big as
Yeah.
that because they're superheroes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But one thing I find, they're actually really okay. So there's 2 things. First of all, whenever I got the resins, I was like, yeah, like they're excellent, really good. But as soon as you start putting paint on it, you sort of lose a little bit of the detail. I don't know if you find the same.
Yeah.
Good, because I was like, oh God, am I going mental? But then secondly, I thought, okay, so there's a bit of a quality issue there, I would have said. But alternatively, the poses, given that they're single models, are fantastic. Like,
Yeah.
there's the ooze character,
Exactly, yeah.
which I really like. So what you lose in the detail a little bit with the painting, you pick up in their stances and the way they hold themselves. I think it's magic.
Yeah, I was amazed, same, because they are single pose minis, for single piece resins.
Yeah.
As you say, have that much character oozing off them without relying on the over-the-topness of Rumble Slam,
Yep.
which isn't a bad thing. It's
No.
just their aesthetic.
Different game.
Yeah, so it's good. But we'll talk more about the minis when we review the game, I
Yeah,
reckon.
yeah, for sure, yeah.
Um,
So that was a lot of fun to do. Like, just splash paint
and
on.
I'm going to say, loved your basing scheme.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That was a combination of sand, the old tried and tested sand,
Yep.
and no more nails rubbed on.
Nice.
Yeah, so trying to create little rocks with.
Yep.
So you sort of rub on the no more nails, let it semi-dry, and then rub it again, and it creates little balls and whatnot, like little
Hmm.
thingies. Yeah, it just creates like slightly different pattern to the sand, so that
Yep.
and the sand together. Yeah,
That's good.
I'm trying to branch out with my.
I could barely
Basing.
pick the miniature I accidentally based for you.
No, that was great. That was a real help, actually. It's like, oh yeah, at least one down, only 4 to go. So happy days.
Nice.
So yeah, so did those guys finish off the little bits of Legion? Got more Legion, thanks Dave's Games.
You got the guard,
The Royal
right?
Guard, yeah.
Yep.
So they'll be
No
up next.
Palpatine. I think we discussed
Nah,
this.
bugger that.
No Palpatine.
Well, no, it's more the colour scheme because I'm thinking more about the display cabinet that I've got the white stormtroopers, then the red of the
Yep.
Royal Guard, and then I'll probably paint up Vader. So nice on the Death troopers.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah. So you have red, white, and black. I think it'll just look really good as far as just.
Yeah, the Emperor in his black robes probably wouldn't fit in too well there.
Nah, not at all. Nah, can't be bothered. No, it's the squads, man. You want like the Death Troopers and Royal Guard. and
I'm waiting to
Stormtroopers.
see it actually.
Not a single dude.
This stuff, because there's quite a bit of painting going on of Legion at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Like once you put Jono into that camp as well. I'm actually wanting to see some people actually play it though, because it's been that long since we've played it.
Well,
Like, I need a refresher.
yeah. I've only played it once since your birthday.
Yeah,
Last year.
for the rules. And like, how many points did you reckon we played on that weekend? It wasn't even a full.
500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we didn't take a lot of vehicles, and
No.
now with all the new vehicles and all their extra specialists and that, you're going to need more points now to fill out the.
Well,
Yeah.
it's 800, isn't it? It was
800
recommended.
is tournament.
Yep.
Standard tournament size.
Yep.
But yeah, it scales up real easy.
I think Big Mike might have said something to the effect that it's really starting to ramp up, and and I guess what we said when we were discussing it when we reviewed it is that it's very base level at this point. It's where it's going to go. You can
That's
sort of
exactly what
see
we
it.
said. And that was why I think I gave it a 4 in the end.
Yeah,
Because it was like, it's okay for now, but there's a lot of potential.
and you know it's coming.
Yeah.
It's very hard to take yourself out of that though, and because you do know that more's coming. I think
Yeah.
the biggest letdown so far that I can think off the top of my head, as in you could see potential, but it just never followed through, I'd say would be Necromunda.
Yeah, it's taken too long.
Yeah, Legion. It hasn't been. I wouldn't say it was quick, but they're really starting to find their rhythm to it. And I don't think
for
Necromunda.
FFG, it's been quick though.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
them.
for
Yeah.
sure.
But
Yeah.
Necromunda just has never found a. I don't
No.
know.
It had a lot of potential because of that old nostalgia,
Yeah.
and it just didn't punch through. It didn't.
didn't have any
hit
releases.
fifth gear.
Yeah.
It just went. It basically went in first gear and stood
did
at
the-
second, and then that's been it.
It did the Warhammer Fantasy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, here it is.
Exactly
new,
right.
shiny, and then nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's these rules. Here's these war bands. Oh, but 5 years down the track, they're still sort of releasing stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
not 5 years, but 3
you
years.
played any games or anything over the?
Not since we last.
How long's
spoke.
it been?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Since
But-
we recorded.
Yeah.
10 days.
10 days. Okay.
I did watch the first episode of The Punisher.
Did you love it? Now that it's been cancelled.
Fuck yeah! It was awesome. Yeah, no, it's great. It's not great it's been cancelled, but it's great I haven't watched it and I've now got all those episodes to...
You've now got 2 seasons.
Yes!
Yeah, it's good.
It's so good.
Oh, I'm
A
devastated.
bit silly, but
But it's
whatever.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Comic
Whatever.
book.
it's a comic book. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Like that
yeah.
the first episode where he just goes nuts with the sledgehammer. Yeah,
That's pretty damn good.
that was a spoiler
Yeah.
alert right there. But anyway,
Yeah, it's definitely
it's
worth
been a few
watching.
years since it's been
If
on.
you haven't watched season 1 of The Punisher, get out of here.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But he made
Have you
Dead-
seen it?
Season 1, yeah.
Yeah, and the
Yeah, oh, the
Daredevil.
dude, what's his name? The guy off Walking Dead, whatever his... the
Yeah,
main
yeah,
actor.
yeah.
John Berthel.
Yep.
Yeah, he totally owns it, doesn't he? Like, he does a good
He's good,
Punisher.
isn't he?
So you haven't
Yeah.
seen Daredevil season 2 with him in it?
No.
See,
Okay.
that
I was
was
going to. I thought, bugger the Daredevil. Can't be asked.
the Punisher makes season 2 for
But
the
how much of
Daredevil.
the Daredevil's in it?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't want that. I want to watch the Punisher.
Okay.
Hence why I want direct.
But can I just recommend that you do watch it, because there's going to be interactions later on that
Yeah.
with the lawyer.
The-
yeah.
Well, I'm only one episode in, so I can do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that for you.
Because then you'll go, that's how why they've got
Yeah.
such a connection.
And I can drag it out a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Because I'll probably only watch one episode
Daredevil's
a week.
all right.
Season 2 is
Yeah.
good, yeah.
Oh, I preferred season 1 of Daredevil,
Yeah.
but once you put the Punisher in, Punisher made season 2. The Daredevil itself, the rest of it, I could take it or leave it on season 2, but the Punisher just
Yeah.
sold it.
I think my issue with season 2 is that it had all the moral stuff in it.
They're always
Yes,
more. Yeah,
I know, but yeah.
Especially Daredevil. He's a quasi really good guy.
But
Like
it
he's
felt-
a lawyer,
it
isn't
felt-
he? By during the day. So
Yeah, he's a lawyer.
although I'm saying that
Yeah.
that doesn't really that
but-
shouldn't affect his moral
The
compass.
moral stuff, it's all like his, his effect, how Catholicism and that sort of stuff's affected him, and
Yeah.
about good versus evil and all that sort of stuff,
His
and
dad.
the nature of sin and his dad and right versus wrong. And,
Jeez, that's hardcore.
Oh, it's yeah.
yeah. I mean, which is classic Daredevil stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm.
that's straight from the comics. There's nothing new there. But I just wanted to watch him kick ass and Mac Electra. That's
See, that's the
Pretty
bit. Once,
much it.
once the Electra bit came in, it felt like Arrow to me. Like, as soon as she came in, it felt like Arrow.
it was like Arrow, but I could watch it.
Yeah, Arrow's gone a bit we've talked about this before with the DC, some of the DC TV shows.
Yeah.
They've gone real.
Soft.
It's real family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soft.
Whereas the Netflix versions of the shows are a lot more like, oh, have you watched any of the Titans yet?
No.
No, not Titans.
All right.
My wife's got a Monopoly on Netflix while she's breastfeeding. So
She's got what?
the Monopoly on Netflix.
Oh, she's got the
As in
Monopoly.
she has complete control of
I
it.
thought you meant
Not that we're
she's
watching
Monopoly. Oh, like, why is she watching the World Championship?
She's got a good trump card she can pull out, to be fair.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Titans, yeah. You're not going to want to watch that with the kids either.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah.
I don't want to watch anything with my kids.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
Apart
okay.
from, well, hang on. I'll come on. I'll just hold that thought for a second. Why did they cancel Punisher then after 2 series if it's so good?
Why did they cancel Firefly?
Obviously,
well,
it wasn't.
Firefly was ratings.
Well, from my understanding,
Punisher.
the ratings were actually good. It's just that people
they were
didn't
terrible
watch it.
because it was
weren't-
Friday night prime,
Yeah.
and so they put it up against all the Friday night shows, and it was a little weird niche sci-fi.
It wasn't
thing.
in the right spot, but
so
it was one of the
cancelled
most...
after that one season.
Yep.
But then it become
A cult.
huge after it got cancelled.
But from my understanding, what it had was a lot of people recording it on their whatever devices to watch later. So it was actually being watched. It just wasn't being necessarily watched in that slot. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure
So,
about that.
well, that's
But
Firefly, but what about Punisher?
Punisher, Netflix have got rid of all their Marvel properties now.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
so Punisher fans shouldn't be...
Well,
Is it
who
because
knows?
of Disney?
Because Disney's
Is it because of
streaming
Disney?
could do something with it.
No, that's what I mean. We shouldn't
Yeah.
I
take
can't
it
see
personal.
Disney releasing MA, can you?
Yeah, totally.
Really? I suppose Deadpool's MA R rated, so and that's okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Deadpool's Sony.
Oh, there you go.
But,
Would they do...
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
like they'll that's not the rating's not the issue, especially the streaming service. They'll have heaps of stuff on there.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, it's
So what's your space with Disney?
I guess it's just consolidation. Is that Netflix doesn't see the value in keeping it when they'll be competing with the owner of the IP, really.
yeah.
So
And you'd imagine if I was Disney and that was mine, I would be quite controlling over how it was used.
So I've got another thing to be upset with Disney about.
why?
It's his fault. It's his fault. I lost the Punisher. Fuck it. That's it. Fuck it.
All right.
So just going back to my original, the thought that was holding there. So things to watch with your kids. Captain Marvel, 2 weeks time. Bring it.
Yeah. Again, not taking the kids to it, but
I am.
we're going. So
I will be. I'm
we've
taking
even got a
home.
babysitter lined up.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good on you.
So
Is this the Wonder Woman?
No, yes, but no. She's a female character.
Yeah,
She's not Wonder Woman, but
it
yeah.
pretty much is.
Well, no,
mm,
it's better.
nah.
I think she should beat Wonder Woman.
She's a woman
It's Wonder
superhero. That's about the similarities.
Yeah.
No, there's the other. You got the one that dresses all in black with the
Black Widow,
yeah that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
She's a superhero.
but she's not Wonder Woman.
No, she's Wonder Woman,
And she's not
smash her.
super. She's got no.
That's right.
skills
Wonder
apart
Woman
from-
is a wonderful. That's right.
Hang on, just audience, picture me moving in slow mo, ching, deflecting
Yeah.
bullets with my gauntlets.
She's got the freaking.
Ching!
She's got the whip.
Hang on, I'm not moving in slow mo enough. Ching!
She's got a
There you
whip.
go. That's 2/3 of the friggin' movie right
Hey. I'm blaming Disney for this too.
there. Yeah. So you should.
Oh, that's wicked. So date night, and I take it you'll be waiting for it to be released on DVD.
I haven't watched Black Panther. I haven't
Mental.
watched Spider-Man.
Oh
You're
my!
mental.
Did you?
I didn't watch
Black Panther won 2
I like
Oscars
Thor.
today.
I like Thor. I didn't watch. I think the second or third of that one.
What? You haven't
Oh,
watched
man.
Ragnarok?
Ragnarok is
Ragnarok,
awesome.
yeah, that one.
It's
I
the
haven't watched
best. That's like it's in the top 5.
Taika Waititi just made that movie.
Yeah, it's sensational.
goodness.
Like it's just an absolute.
I'm waiting till they're all out.
But so I didn't know Black Panther is the 5th highest grossing film of all time. 1.4 billion.
What?
what?
It took 1.4 billion.
See what you're missing? It didn't
Couldn't
take any of
believe
Muddy's money. None of
Yeah,
Muddy's
right.
money
Not
made
a
it.
cent.
Not
Nah.
a cent.
Eat it. And you're not gonna get.
You're
it.
showing them, aren't you?
Yeah,
You're
I'm
showing
sticking
them.
it to the man.
Yeah, eat that, Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2 Academy Awards and 1.4 billion.
Well, do you know what Academy Awards? I heard it today, but I wasn't sort of paying attention. I just heard. Do you know what they?
When I saw it, it was 2. It might have been more because I only was like 3/4 of the way through.
You
but
don't
it
know
was
what
like,
they're for, do you?
Best original soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
And costume, I think.
Right.
Yeah, it didn't win best screenplay. Or
No,
any
no.
of that
It
stuff,
was,
but
yep, yep.
That's
Still-
it's the first Marvel films that.
It's a nod in the right direction, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's great. All right, so that was a bit of a tangent. So, what have you been up to, Muddi?
I'm actually played Batman.
Ooh.
Yeah, talk to us about that.
That's going to be a review further down the track,
I think that'll be a review down the track.
because
I
you're,
like
you're
it.
buying stuff, aren't you?
I've written a few emails to get access to that,
Yeah.
which I've successfully done.
Procured.
So
Yeah.
keep an eye on davesgames.com.au.
I've got it. The funny thing is, I've literally
local
think
friendly
I've
game
sourced
store?
like 3 different distributors all with it, so I can literally pick and choose as I desire.
You're such a whore bag.
Yeah,
Look at that.
yeah.
That's
I'm
nuts.
Fucking excited.
So-
and guess what else they have? The Harry Potter.
Did they make a game out of Harry Potter?
Do you know? I just
Was that
wanna
on
get it.
Kickstarter?
Do you know, part of the reason I got it was just so I could get it and send you emails
was it?
of the Harry
Oh,
Potter
no
game.
shit. Yeah. It's not like you to be antagonistic, is it?
I'm gonna spam you with Harry Potter emails.
You know what would really show me?
What?
Is if you bought it, painted up all the miniatures and learned the rules.
Ooh,
that would
that's
just really
pushing
put me
it.
in my place.
That's pushing it.
That
the
would.
last bit you had him. Like the last bit, he was out. Like you had him.
Maybe
and
just
then-
buy it and paint the models and then, oh,
Yeah, here's what you do.
teach me a lesson.
Hang on. How about you buy the models and then watch YouTube videos of how to play the game?
That's how I do it.
There you see.
Yeah,
You can do it. You can do it.
you can get some of those videos get down to like 3 minutes. Learn how to play a game. It's in 3 minutes.
And there's never any mistakes in YouTube videos.
So how good is it?
Well, Batman,
Batman.
obviously. I liked it. Yeah.
It
It's-
strikes me as a really complicated game.
All right, so I think this is Malifaux-ish light.
Read combo-y.
It's got don't get me wrong, it's got the combos, but the combos aren't as bad as Malifaux, and I don't think the brain stress will be like Malifaux. Yeah, but I really liked how you had to. You basically have to put dice into your actions, so you would have to forecast basically where you're going to be, what you're going to be doing before the turn starts.
Gotcha.
So, like,
Yeah.
whether you're going to use defense or movement or
Yeah.
punchy, whatever. I really enjoyed that part of it. The terrain, once you fill those boards out, it's going to look absolutely amazing. Resin now, so, like, I'm all over that. DC, baby, I'm all over it. And now I know a few peeps that obviously are mad keen on it too, so that obviously is another. Like
Yep.
we've been talking previously about, the golden age of gaming, and the hardest part is actually finding a crew that are dedicated enough not to be constantly magpieing and
Yeah.
just play a game,
Well,
which
hold
will
that
lead
thought
on
for
to
later
our,
on.
which will lead on to our subject matter. But Josh Bruce put me through the initial steps on
Yep.
how to play, which many thanks, buddy. Got a draw. It was a good game. Like, you can't get any better than that. Got to play as Bane too. Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Did you do the voice?
I don't know if I did.
I am disappointed.
I don't know if
son.
I haven't done that for a while. Hold on, let me get.
Well,
This is
while you're doing,
Bane. And you should play the Batman miniatures game because the people demand it.
well, listeners, if you saw Workbench Wednesday this week, you would have seen some ninjas on there
Ooh.
from yours truly. So they got a lick of paint over the
So
weekend.
are you keen to get in?
Oh, I've had that crew forever.
I know you've had it, but are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I'm keen to try it. The rules have always sort of intrigued me, but watched it. Must have been the first edition of the game,
Yeah.
and it kind of, I was like, oh yeah, lots of stuff going on here that I'm not quite getting. But
Yep.
apparently Third's streamlined a lot of stuff, and
Yeah, that's the impression I'm getting. And
Mm.
there's a book of magic now as well, which seems interesting, like for Constantine and things like that.
yeah.
I just don't know how. Like we didn't. I think we cut some of the extra bits off just to keep it sort of streamlined. So, but it feels like an onion to me. There's going to be lots of layers to it.
Yeah.
But not Malifaux.
The other thing that always put me off is I bought League of Shadows.
Oh, you hated the model? Did you have
They
problems
were
with the
a real
models?
pain to assemble.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
old medals.
Yep.
But then I was like reading stuff and everyone's like, oh, they're a really hard crew to learn to play with and all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, oh,
So you
yay.
you're taking a game.
But I think that's changed a bit now too, the way the whole thing works.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Obviously, only doing an intro at this
Yeah.
stage, but like I'm pretty much ordering Bane straight up. Look, you know the funny, I'm flipping through on the websites just constantly looking at the different crews, and you're like, oh, I want that. Oh, I want that. So it's not anything to do with the rules. Couldn't care about the rules. It's like you're just seeing like the Riddler and all this sort of stuff. You're just like, oh,
Yeah.
kid to candy store. It's very hard to just sort of pull yourself back and go, calm down, take your time.
Yeah. Can't imagine what it's like to look at Night Models miniatures and get all excited about them. And can't imagine that
Don't
feeling.
worry, buddy.
And get ready to jump on a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And basically
Anyway.
empty your wallet.
Don't worry, buddy. I'll send you emails every day.
That's why we keep you around, Muddi.
So what else you been up to?
I think that's it. I painted the Mantic Giant
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
It's
pretty
huge.
impressive.
because I'm in between. I'm almost like in between projects. It's like I've my Ancients is at a point where I'm waiting for the next release to fill out the Romans, so that's done. And then I know Batman's coming, so I'm like, all right, I just need something quick. I tried speed painting the Giant. It's very hard to speed paint a miniature that size.
The size of a small child.
The imperfections show up, do they?
No, it's not that. It's so much paint you got to put on. The brush is just like, I guess if you had an airbrush or something like that, it would have been a lot quicker. But with a brush, like there's a lot of. It's huge. I put a picture up of the Tomb King Giant.
I know, yeah.
Up against it, and the Tomb King Giant is like up to its crutch.
If that.
Yeah,
Even if that.
like that's he is. They've named it correctly. It's
Yeah.
a giant.
Yeah.
So anyway, the reason I got that painted up was I want to do the scenario from the Vanguard with you boys. I think one of the scenarios is capturing a giant or something like that. So he'll be all painted up and
Good to go.
Cool.
Yep.
Fun and games.
So, hang on. No more 1 to 72 millimeter, 1
No,
to 72 scale painting?
I thought this would come up. I
haven't you
need
got,
to
like-
get more, but I need to get hat.
Yeah.
Hat's,
Hat looked like
hat's
the best
my,
range.
Yeah. I went through the what are they? The Plastic Soldier review.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
Probably my most frequented website of the past 3 months.
If you go onto
And if you
that,
told that you missed it, she would tell you you're a liar.
puts his iPad.
If you looked at my search history, you'd know I'm a liar.
He takes it into the shower with his baggie on it, looking at the Plastic Soldier reviews.
Like, ooh.
Honest.
Oh, this kid got a 9 out of 10 for sculpting.
That's the
Oh.
beauty of that site. Like, you can literally put in exactly what you're looking for, the range, and it tells you how it rates against everything else.
Mental.
So that
hat-
Prussian kit that I bought you, how did that rate?
yeah, it wasn't the greatest, and maybe that's why I've been a bit slow. I'm like, oh, and because I'm looking at yours, because you're putting up your photos. I'm like, oh, look at you, and I'm going, oh, but mine don't look the same.
Well, so that's exactly what I did. I went through the website and like, right, I want lances. What company do the best lances?
Yeah, well,
And
I need
found
to
them.
do
And I'm
that.
like, right, I need the chasseurs. What
Yep.
company do the best chasseurs? And I got the best one. So,
And
yeah,
every
like-
time Jono's gone into the Hobby Rama or wherever, they don't have any Prussians. It's Prussians are like an eBay thing at best, and even then the range is very limited.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. I don't know what.
I'll send you a link. There's a store I
Is
dropped
there?
a couple of hundred in last week. So.
Yeah, you put that up. Yeah, but it was in US. You thought you.
Oh no, that
you
was
got
Saturday
excited.
night. Saturday night, I'm like, I've got the baby. I'm trying to rock her to sleep, and I'm eBaying because that's what you do.
That's what you do.
And I found this thing. I'm like, hang on, $7.50. Oh, with $5 postage.
Buy.
$12.50. I'm like, I just paid $22 for this kit. I was losing my mind, and Jerry's like, "Calm down." I'm like, "Shut up, woman." You know, like,
Get back in the kitchen.
It'll affect the baby. No, it won't. I'm teaching her life skills right now.
yeah. And then I got all angry, and I'm like, "Oh, hang on, it's US dollars. That's all right." So it was exactly what I paid, just in US dollars.
That's all right. Yeah, I got to. You send me the link because I got to. It's got to be hat.
Yeah.
Now that I've seen the hat ones, like when you look at the images, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
And it's
right.
crazy to think, but the detail in miniatures at that scale is huge.
But that
The
was what I
difference in
was
quality.
noticing. I'm looking at yours, and you're putting up all these awesome, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong? Well, mine don't look this good. And then when I went into the plastic soldier review, I'm like, oh, right, it's not. I'm just being a moron. Like,
Yeah,
there
There's a reason.
There
There's
is an
science
actual
to it.
Huge
reason
difference,
to it. Yeah. So
Yep. And the other thing, Friday, I did some reading Friday night and found out that in the French Guards Heavy Cavalry
here
Brigade,
we go. Yep.
I thought
Neckbeard alert.
We should have. We should have like a thing for that.
I thought there was just chasseurs de cheval in the guard, right? But they had a regiment of dragoons, and I didn't order any dragoons.
Oh,
so I
it
got
wasn't
2
finished.
regiments of chasseurs de cheval for my
Yep.
guard. I'm like, nah, now I need to
You need the
get a
dragoons.
regiment of dragoons.
Yep.
Yep. I know. I felt quite silly.
Sucks to be historical.
Yep.
You've got to be historically
Actually, it
accurate.
doesn't. It's very satisfying.
No, it doesn't.
No, I'm like,
Not
I'm
listening to you.
painting the tartan. I'm like, yes, this is 92nd Highlander tartan, and it's perfect, and it's on the shelf, and I'm so satisfied in
Look
a
how
way
refreshed he is.
Yeah.
Because he sleeps well at night now, knowing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Those kilts.
yeah.
Spot on.
That's the right tartan.
Spot on.
And I actually found a website that does flags, like proper flags for each of the regiments.
So you can like actually just stick them on, like
Yeah,
normal
adhesive.
decals.
They do in paper adhesive, or you can get cloth ones.
Oh yes.
So printed cloth
Because
flags.
it's all about the banners.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Printed cloth.
I think I'll just get the adhesive ones and see what they're like.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll get like one cloth one.
Nothing
How
beats.
much,
It's
how much
pretty
does a?
exy.
I was gonna say, how much does a cloth banner?
I think they're £4 each.
No, do
That's
it.
Bloody nothing.
Then do it.
Do you know how many regiments I need?
Yeah, how many do you need, first of all, before I say nothing? I'm thinking 1.
British, I need 12.
Ooh.
It's worth it.
French,
It's so
I
worth it.
need 16.
It's so worth 16.
Yeah. Because the
Still-
Cav don't have... They didn't take the colours in the battle. And the
There's
British have more Cav
nothing
than the
beats
French.
Napoleonic banners.
It's so worth it.
Oh, worse, the British took the King's colours as well. So there's actually 2 banners per regiment. So I'd need 24 British banners.
Jesus.
Worth every cent, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not buying that Harry Potter stuff, so you may as well
Yeah.
spend your money elsewhere.
Money
How much
saved.
is £92 in AUD at the moment?
Roughly multiplied by 2.
180.
For
Multiply by 2.
flags.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Worth it.
That's about as much as I've actually spent on the entire project.
Yeah, but
If
that'll
you did
make it'll make them.
It'll make it.
It'll make it.
You don't need to convince me. I'm just doing the math.
He's already bought it.
But then maybe what you do is break that down and say I'll buy it over, say, maybe 2 months. And that way then...
Yeah, just
You know?
little chunks on the
yeah,
credit card.
it's like 50 bucks.
And then you can pay extra in shipping.
Yeah. What would be good is if they could just give you the file and you could print it yourself. Wonder if I can do that.
Didn't you used to come up with
That way I don't need to pay for shipping.
when you had your Ohio's? What were you had?
So yeah, so you just
You
print
were
out...
making your own
Yeah, you print them
banners.
out on decal paper.
Hmm.
And then you print out on decal paper, slide it off,
Yeah.
water transfer, and then put onto whatever you want, whatever medium you want. Not cloth, obviously, but you could do it plastic, for example.
But so I could do that on adhesive paper.
Yeah.
Print it on the adhesive,
Yep.
cut it out myself.
So you
Investigate. I'll
print
investigate.
it, seal it, and then off you go, dip in the water, and off you
Yeah.
go.
That'd be the. If it doesn't work, you haven't really lost anything.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they'd sell you the file though.
Hey,
Because there'd be copyright issues and that sort of stuff.
copyright issues on a banner.
Yeah, well, if he's got a business where he sells
Oh
you the
no, no,
banners,
yeah, sorry, no.
You'd
I
have
was
to-
not going
you'd
to
have
go
to-
use the file.
Yeah, like I made my own. Like I just
Yeah.
find a cool image.
I was thinking you'd
And
find
then-
images.
Oh, but these are like proper
Oh.
accurate ones
Right.
to
No.
scale and everything. So
But if you went and found a
Just buy them.
yeah, I'll probably
PDF
just
book
buy 'em.
online
Fuck it.
with all the banners in there,
Yeah,
He's
I
gonna
don't know. I'll
he's
just
gonna buy
go.
them.
He's gonna
Yeah.
He's gonna buy them.
we all know it.
and the Harry Potter.
All right, gents, should we crack on to the main topic this evening?
Hang on.
Oh, yeah.
One more thing.
All right, yeah.
Right. So anyway, we're having dinner the other night, and the young fella just drops this little nugget of trivia, and I had to research it. I had to look it up to see if it was right. And well, apparently, according to the internet, because the internet doesn't lie, he was right.
Is this the birds and the bees talk?
No, it was at the dinner table.
Women have a clitoris. Greg's like, what?
What?
What the hell's that? Is
How the
that,
hell do you know that?
is that how you warm up
What's-
resin?
what? What do you mean?
That's how you warm up the resin. So, anyway, he dropped this trivia. So, here it is. So, did you know in Return of the Jedi
Oh, no.
that Chewbacca, a.k.a. Peter Mayhew, had to have official bodyguards for the filming of Return of the Jedi because they were afraid of him getting shot in the forest because people might think he's a Sasquatch. That's dead set legit. As confirmed by Peter.
I didn't know it, but I'd believe it.
Yeah. So they sort of warned him, said, mate, if you wander off site, you could get shot by hunters. Just saying, because they're going to think you're Bigfoot. Because there's not many 7 foot, 3 inch Wookiees walking around the forest. So yes, he had dudes dressed in high vis vests escorting him.
Where did they film? Where was Endor filmed?
California.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that in America, they may have been a bit gun happy around an 8 foot tall.
Could you imagine if you're the dude that shot Chewbacca? How much of a douche you'd feel? Even worse if you took his head home.
But
Yeah.
would he really want to be just walking around with it on? Like, wouldn't it get hot in that thing?
I don't know. Maybe you go off for a leak somewhere. I don't know, in the woods. Like
I would have gone back to the trailer with the aircon.
maybe you want to.
I would have gone in the suit just quietly.
Maybe you would have scratched your back. You know what I mean? When you want to scratch your back against a tree, and next thing,
You have assistance for that.
the bullet rings out. What? Anyway, there you go. I just thought I'd just share a little
Did
bit of
not
trivia.
know that.
Yeah.
Hey, I actually have a question for you guys. I don't know whether this is a thing. I dropped the trivia at work the other day that Antarctic meant no bears. Did you know that?
I did not.
Did not know
Right,
that.
so the Arctic is where the bears are,
Right.
coming from the Greek arctos for bear,
Right.
Right, there you go.
and Antarctic is opposite of that.
No bears.
Ah, right. Yeah, okay.
Is that legit? You didn't know that?
I didn't know. I did not know.
There
Did
you
you
go.
get this off the internet as well?
No, it's like I learned it in primary
Shazza
school.
said it. From Ipswich.
But like, I told people at work, and they're like mind blown.
Yeah, no, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Try that Chewbacca one with them, see how they go with that.
I will. Do you have any trivia, Muddi, while we're at it, playing the game?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it all started because there's like this footage of like people in the Arctic Circle, and they're like under siege by polar bears. I'm like, well, what do
Yeah.
you expect?
Yeah.
It's where the bears are. And they're like,
Oh.
what's that meant to mean? I'm like, oh, here you go, suckers.
Boom.
Get ready for some knowledge.
Whoa.
And then just drop the mic and just leave the room.
Yeah, that's it. And
Boom.
the principal's like, go back to class. Come on. Can't go home now.
Like a boss.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm going to use that one at work.
Go for it. Because there's no,
There's no copyright on that.
exactly.
It's public knowledge.
It is now. It's out there.
Snyder, Bill, and you.
Time for another listener question.
All right, now, should we get into the main topic?
Yeah, we've been trying to get this past month.
Yep. Actually, it's from late November when we first had this topic arise, and it's actually been a topic that's been kicked around quite a bit by us and our group and a few people within it, and it's really just all boils down to the plight of the part-time gamer. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, and this is a big shout out to Brad,
Bubble Boy.
aka Bubble Boy, aka Shrek, aka Baldy.
AKA, get off me fucking lawn, you little cunts.
Sitting in the shed, he'd be having a glass of red.
He probably would write.
Listen to this.
Yep.
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 So yeah, we just want to shout it out to him and basically say we didn't miss your question. We answered the other 7 that you asked us that episode.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. He had a bit of a monopoly on that,
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
I think he was on a bit of Monopoly while he was
he? Yeah.
writing those questions. But yeah, so I guess before we start, like, gents, in your mind, how do you define a part-time gamer?
I would. It's not a definition, but I assume that it's an individual that doesn't play on a regular basis. I guess you might say, well, what's regular? For some people, probably they might only play once, twice a week. Maybe the part-time gamer doesn't have a regular pattern even to that. So maybe once a fortnight, but the day changes as well. So very up in the air. That's my loose definition.
Yeah, I
that's my interpretation of.
tend to
what
agree. I
what
guess
he's
somebody
saying.
who isn't, or even gaming as much as they'd like, in their own mind, could be a part-time gamer, I suppose.
Yeah, so it's state of mind rather
Yeah.
than a... Yeah, no, I'll get you on that.
Yeah, because if you're thinking of yourself as a part-time gamer, I'm assuming you're probably comparing yourself to what other people are doing, and if they're gaming 2-3 times a week, they're going to get the magpie syndrome, and then you're not going to be able to keep up with what where they're going with their gaming space.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the crux of the problem, because, you know, if we're going to talk about the plight of the part-time gamer, it's probably that you tend to get left behind. And people move on, and you're not even at the level where they were when they started, kind of thing. And you're always playing that catch-up in rules and catch-up in models and catch-up in everything else. So
They're probably constantly stuck in intro game level.
yeah, that's an interesting way to put it too.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It also harks back to the golden age of gaming that we did. In that, you know, if we'd rewind back 10 years ago, easily, not even that, maybe, but back to, say, the old fantasy days, we're all playing fantasy. It was easy. It was easy to jump in, jump out. You know, same with 40k. If you're 40k inclined as opposed to fantasy.
That's it. When you only got 2
Main
codexes
game
or army
systems.
books a year dropping,
That's right.
the game doesn't evolve quickly. You don't
But
get
even-
left behind in rules necessarily.
But even in edition changes, you could have an edition change, and the base game pretty much stays the same. A few little ins and outs change as the rules get redefined and interpreted, but realistically, you can go from one edition to another with a quick intro, and you pretty much caught back up. But in today's climate, where those two systems aren't necessarily the two major systems, and everyone's constantly juggling for positions and the new hot and shiny, i.e. the magpie syndrome, you're constantly chasing a never-ending battle of purchasing terrain, purchasing miniatures, and trying to keep up with rules.
But then, is it just, maybe it's just us, though? Like, we have a very diverse gaming group. You know, like, if you look at the recent events at CanCon and whatnot, even coming up to BrizCon, 40k, you know, I think there's maybe 80 players registered for 40k. I don't know, Age of Sigmar. But CanCon had 220 odd. We've talked about this before. Is it just us as a gaming group that we're gravitating towards indie developers and more lesser known games as opposed to your mainstream? Because we've been there, we've done it, we've had the big armies, and you know what? It doesn't scratch the itch anymore, and we're moving on. So maybe it's just our gaming group.
There could be some truth to that.
That's complicating the matters.
yeah, it could be, but I think even then, it's got more to do with, you know, your approach to the game than probably anything else as well.
If we had have stuck with the Warhammer, we could have stuck with the Warhammer universe.
Yeah,
Yep.
I would have happily kept playing Age of Sigmar.
We could have kept playing. We had all the models. There wouldn't have been a
Us.
massive.
8th edition.
8th edition.
Yeah. But like, even if you stayed within the company, right?
Yeah. Oh, and switch to Age of Sigmar.
Switch to Age of Sigmar. You still could have played some 8th edition on the side, and you had 40k. Right?
Yeah.
All of us would have been on the same thing. We would have had to learn a 4-page rulebook to keep up with
Yeah.
Age
Yeah.
of Sigmar at that point, right? We could have all. That's to me. You could still be a part-time gamer and be functioning quite normally in that environment. You might not have as many regular games, and therefore your skills in that rule set might not be so great. But it's easier to manage than what we're currently doing, where we're just constantly bopping around with the latest shininess.
Right. You touched on some really interesting points there that we'll come back to when it's
Yeah, the other interesting thing, though, I've just thought of this as I'm looking at you, Jacob,
yeah.
is that we're not necessarily jumping on systems that's like the new hot and shiny sort of thing.
No.
No, we're not.
We're actually, in a way, sampling some of the other things that are out there that have been out there for quite some time, but as we've aged, are becoming more attractive.
Yeah.
Are you
So-
saying it's only because I hit 36
No, I'm
that I
wondering-
started Napoleonics?
No, I'm wondering if our outlook on life has changed, and therefore, so does our gaming.
And that's an excellent point too that I want to come back to when we talk about curing the plight of part-time gamers.
Yeah, good luck with that.
What do you reckon about the idea that a part-time gamer needs to keep up with everyone else?
No, I don't think so. I think there's so many cool games out there, and we're penciled in to go to an 8th edition tournament in May.
Yep.
And haven't even begun to even think about that. But the more you think about it, the more exciting it gets because it's gonna be super cool, like getting all the gear out again and having a crack. So if someone were to hit me up and say, and if I had the time and all that sort of stuff, and I wasn't preoccupied with other things, I'd crack out with old games. Someone mentioned on our chat the other day about 2nd edition 40k, which there is actually a whole movement of 2nd edition gamers. There's a whole Facebook page for it. There's a whole bunch of dudes in Brisbane as well as around the world that play 2nd edition because there's a thought process that it's one of the better editions because it made that leap from Rogue Trader and didn't get too fancy and blah blah blah. So there's definitely scope, without doubt, to play older games or games that have been shelved for sure.
To do that, if you want to be a part-time gamer, I know where you're going with this, Jacob, is you need to be more proactive and make that game viable for people to want to come play with you, almost.
That's
So
pretty
instead
much
of
my point.
chasing the game,
Mm.
I'm not want to say dictate the game, but
Enable.
you enable the system and say, hey, I've got this, maybe I've got some really cool terrain to go with it. People will come and play.
Exactly. Yeah. That's kind of my thought process with Napoleonics. I got into this and I never expected anyone else to get on board. At all. So, that's true. And I gave you the box of Prussians, but that was a laugh more than anything else.
No, well, we had this discuss like.
Yeah. But I knew I was jumping
I never
into
thought
this
you would.
balls deep. I knew I was
you've
going
gone crazy on it. I'm even quite surprised.
to. Thank you. But that's my entire point. And I was like, look, chances are I'm going to do this. I'm going to spend months and months on it, realistically. Shit. But every time I think seriously about it, I was like, that's a lot of minis. But you know what I mean? But that's my plan is to build 2 nice looking armies that work as lists with some nice terrain, and that way I can lay it out and say, hey dudes, come and play this. And with no effort on your behalf, you can go, right, I'll swing by and have a crack. So that's the plan there. And it's a rule set that, you can jump into an hour too. Like, if it's War Master, it's not rocket science. But I think you could apply that in a lot of sort of situations. Whereas, if someone's... And I'm going to use Brad as an example. I hope he doesn't mind here.
Well, it's his question.
It's his question.
Let's relate it back.
So
to
he's
him.
like, right, Infinity. I just got on Infinity. I just got my painted army. Started learning the game, and you cunts all left and did something else.
Oh yeah, we did.
Almost direct quote. Okay?
And we did. That's no word of a lie.
Yeah. And to Brad, I would say, Brad, but you're in a very fortunate position that you belong in a gaming group, great bunch of dudes. And I did the math the other day. There's like probably 20 regular guys you could get a game with if you sort of put the feelers out enough. That if you put out to one of them and just contact it directly, not in the general chat, because you chuck something in the general chat, it just gets lost.
Yeah,
but if you
absolutely.
message someone directly and said, hey, doing this night, are you free? Chances are you'll get a bite. Because for every part-time gamer in our group, there's a gaming whore in our group.
Yeah.
There's a few.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
but I think it comes down to the idea that you can't wait for the pretty girl to ask you to dance
Yeah.
in this situation.
You got to own it a little.
Yeah. And if that means that, shit, maybe I need to get a second crew for Necromunda, or I need to paint the other thing, or I need to get some nice terrain to encourage people to come around, or I need to do something, it's all about that as you said, make an attractive option for
Yep.
people to come and experience it.
I think even taking that one step further and sort of relating it more to my situation and whatnot, I think it's also easy to make excuses as well and say that put other things before
Ahead of it.
Yeah, you're gaming, and we do it for fun. You know, we do it because we enjoy it, and we do it to catch up and have a laugh. And I think you need that release. And sometimes you can get caught up too much with either work or family stuff or whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever there is, there's always something else. You know,
Those
what
are
I mean?
two important things, though. That's not.
They are. But there's also your own mental health and your own fun, I guess.
Yeah.
Your own release.
Yep.
Is just as important. If you're not happy as a person, well then, no one in your life is going to be happy.
Exactly.
That's the old Chinese proverb out there. So, and I've been guilty of that of more recently. So, and I've always said, it's because of whatever. But sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and go, you know what? I'm going to bloody take a night off and
Well, see,
have fun.
I would put you in the category part-time gamer at the moment.
Yeah, I know I am. I was
Yeah.
thinking about that when you mentioned it.
And I would put
Absolutely.
myself in the category too, because I'm not playing anywhere near as much as I'd like to.
No, I cannot compared to last year and the previous years.
Yeah.
Like, I've totally dropped off. But that's reasons.
Muddi's still a whorebag.
Oh, he's always been a whore.
It's interesting you think that. I actually thought I was a part-time gamer because of my work and my schedule. The start last year, I tried to think about. I was avoiding things. I'll simplify it. I was avoiding some of these social outings as well. But yet, when I get into the social outings, I was having a good time. Sometimes it's just getting to the outings that's the problem. So, in a way, and I'll relate this back to Rumble Slam because that was the first effort you will see probably from me to actually do exactly what we're discussing here. I found a game that I really liked. And so what I did was introduced it essentially to you guys, and then you guys thought it was an okay game. So then I created a league so that I could actually do the things that I want to do and hang out and create a social environment that I wanted to be a part of. That's building the arena for people to come to play. That's exactly the sort of thing that we're talking about. Because I'm not a big outgoing social person, but I forced myself, or kind of what you're saying, Greg, to say, no, this is something I really want to do. I need to sort of take some of this on myself and own it and just do it. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We'll just at least I tried. And it worked.
Yeah, I'd say, it's interesting. I'd say last year you were very much on the back burner last year.
Yeah.
And I remember we had a chat and you were like, it was a combination of Rumble Slam and Kings. I remember you saying about Kings, you're like, you know what? I've got to get out there and play more games. I've just got to get out and, and then you went to a tournament. You're like, you know what? I really enjoyed that. It was probably 3/4 of the way through the year when you did that. And then since then you've been on the hobby horse and
well, that's why we're trying to get the gap. Like, it's good when if you're a part-time gamer, I'll give you a little piece of something that I've discovered recently. I think if you can create a league or some sort of something of a system that you're interested in, and you put that out to people, generally people are more inclined to go, oh, this is going to be a regular thing. They're more inclined to jump on board. And that's how you're going to get your opponents. And then you'll find that some of those opponents will start playing their own games as well. And even though that you're maybe not necessarily directly involved in some of these games, you actually become a secondary part of it. If you're running the league, you get to input the data and put the emails out, and you're constantly talking to them, and you're creating that little social network. But that's getting the gamers then to come to you rather than you having to chase.
Yeah, totally. I think the other thing that you're kind of alluding to there is the other gamers.
Yep.
And so if you're a part-time gamer and you're struggling to get games, then more than anything else, if you want to put effort anywhere, I'd suggest find a group of gamers. And even if you don't have to be in the middle of everything, doing everything. But if you can sit on the edge of a group of gamers and, just lurk for a bit even and just learn what people are into and what they're doing. And, I don't mean be like the weird dude in the overcoat with the free candy van.
With the mood
smelling
lighting.
of sour milk.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like you can go to the club days and you can chat to people. And I know gamers, I'm well aware of
Social skills.
social skills can struggle. And that's cool. That's one of the reasons people get attracted to this hobby. It is because it's a way to interact with people through a codified system. Yeah, like, and we don't want to get too much into
It's
the
formulated.
psychology. Exactly. So
There's
you
a
can have
structure.
interactions within a structure.
Yep.
Yeah, so, but that's what I mean. Sometimes it does take breaking out of your comfort zone. You know? And, Muddi, I'm gonna call you on this because
Oh, no.
that's what, we've had big chats before about running leagues and campaigns and stuff, and you'd be like, I want to do it, but I'm not sure I can. And I'd
Yeah,
be
I'm
like,
petrified.
just got to do it, brother.
Got to do it. Yep.
Okay?
That was the truth.
Yeah. And some people it comes easily. And they're,
And others it's not.
yeah.
But you got to have a crack.
But that,
And
your Power Slam Federation, huge success.
we're about
if
to
I
do
can
the gas. We're going to have to do the gas
say.
land
So successful,
soon.
you roll in the Gaslands one.
Yep. So with a bit of help. So that's been good.
And you're running the tournament.
Well, yeah.
For the general
I'm going to
community.
try.
So, like I think you've really come out of your shell with
I'm
this
trying.
sort of stuff.
I'm trying.
And you know what? I suppose the other thing is, in this day and age, we're fortunate that it's easier to find people. Like previously, like before we had, Facebook. I'm going to talk about. We had that. It was Q&K. We had club environment, shall we say?
Yep.
And so you go to your club every fortnight, or at that stage it was every fortnight, and I didn't know how the forums worked because I'm a complete idiot back then. So I used to rock up on a Friday night, just hope that somebody was free for a game and just get into it, basically. But now you got Facebook, like literally, like take my 3D printer. I'm completely an idiot when it comes to it. So I have to ask the most stupid questions on the Facebook group page, but at least people are there to help you out. The same with gaming, you know what I mean? Like whether it's Strontium Dogs, Gaslands, Infinity, there's a Facebook group. I guarantee there's a Facebook group for it, most definitely. And you can jump on there and you can ask away, and you can ask, hey, is there someone in the area that plays, whatever? And somebody will probably say, more likely, yes, there is. And you go,
Yep.
cool, wicked, rock up to next wherever they're playing, and off you go. So, you really, there's no excuses nowadays not to get out there. Like I remember, sorry to harp on, but again, whenever I first started playing, getting back into it, I rocked up to G-Dub store because that was in the city, that was my local haunt. And it was so frightening as a mid-20-something-year-old, thinking this is dead nerd, especially when there's kids there, you know what I mean? Like teenagers, you're like, God, this is a bit weird. But then there's like other dudes that are the same age, and you're like, right, at least I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
So then that helps you get across the line. So yeah, it's your own worst enemy.
That, if you feel though that time is a constraint though, that can be an issue. Because at the moment, like, I've got no qualms in playing anything with anyone at any time. It's the time that's the killer. So for me, I really have to make sure I'm dedicating time. And I'm booking in advance. I'm saying, Shug, next Friday night, I'm going round to JT's and I'm doing this. And I have to cop the consequences, basically. But it means that you need some planning as well. Like, I can't just, I feel like some Rumble Slam tonight, hit up Muddi. It has to be right. Well, I need to actually actively plan what I'm doing.
But that's because we're a lot older.
We're old. We're a little bit older.
Like, we've got so many, like, hats on. And you got to juggle everyone else's. Like, to have an opponent, you have to juggle with their hats as well. So, whereas, I guess if you were younger, you can pretty much just wing it, I suppose. But for Brad, he would have to juggle the hats.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know what? Something will come up. Always does. There's always a spanner thrown in the works.
Yep.
But, that's life. And we're at least of a group that we're of a similar age where we understand.
We get it. And, like, last minute things can come up because it's...
But let me talk about spanners for a second.
Mm.
You can't let a spanner stop you. You can let us...
That's true.
You can
It
let
depends
a
on the
spanner
extent.
postpone you.
Yeah.
But if you go,
the old rain check.
I can't do tonight because the kid just shit herself on the way home from kindy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, it happens. You got to deal with it.
Yep.
But then you have to be the one that makes it and go with your opponent to go, right, let's get another night sorted soon.
Yep. The old rain check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got to... If you are not investing in your opponent, then they don't necessarily...
It
you
works
get that
both
idea,
ways.
Like, I can't play Jacob because every time we organise a game, he bails on me, so what's the point of even...
Yeah, it works both ways. You got to have that social contract Otherwise, there's no contract.
Yep. And the best thing, the way to do that is strike while iron's hot. As soon as you realise you can't make it, try and do it at the same time. Same night, ideally.
Well, relating this back to the Bubble Boy, so what he wants to play more he was just using Infinity as him detailing
I think
the
Infinity
problem?
was the latest one because he
Yeah.
went like Infinity, then there was like War Machine. He got a whole bunch. of War
did he get into
Machine,
War
and then
Machine,
everyone was
did he?
like, "No, War Machine's for retards." So
No
That
offense
was
to War Machine listeners.
general consensus.
That's-
Reviews of the general
that's-
public do not reflect
Yep.
my views.
That is
or
not
the views of
necessarily
the show.
PSG's view.
Yeah, but it is for retards.
It is
Now-
for window lickers.
And then so on and so forth. Like I think that, but the Infinity one was the one, like the latest one. Where he was like, right, well, what have I got to do here?
The problem with Infinity, though, is that it's quite, like, for a part-time gamer, that's a pretty complex game that you need to keep up.
Definitely, yeah.
Whereas some of the other games that I'm thinking of, like, for Bubble Boy, mate, Rumble Slam, your Gaslands, like, these are games that are plug and play.
Yeah.
Pick up.
That's
totally.
that's a lot easier for a part-time gamer to basically keep up with because the rules aren't going to change, and if they do, I can't imagine they're going to change a lot.
Yeah.
And they're nice and light. I would focus on those sorts of games if I was him. And that's not me trying to derail the Infinity for anyone.
No,
jumps
you're
on
100%
that.
right.
Like maybe
Absolutely 100%
Aristia.
right. Yeah.
Because
Or
that way,
Aristia, yeah.
that
Yeah.
way he's kind of in the Infinity universe,
Yep.
but the game's not as involved.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that's something you need to sort of be realistic about as well.
Mm.
Like, can I keep up with this ever-evolving game? Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
But could I find a game that I'm into? And, like, the thing is, like, he loves his Blood Bowl.
Oh, mate, I'd throw that down, that drop of a hat.
We say that all the time.
Yeah.
If someone called me up and said, can you come around for a game of Blood Bowl? I'd be there with a six-pack and my dirty Amazon list.
We go back to I think we said last podcast when we were kind of wrapping it up. It's like if you build that stadium, people are going to come sit in the stadium.
Yeah.
Because there's hot
Yeah.
dogs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it's usually single malt whiskey at the
Oh,
shed.
yeah, all right.
Yeah.
But again, we've got a decent enough gaming group. There's so much diversity that, yeah, for sure, there's enough people that will take that carrot. You dangle a carrot, and people will go, "Yep, I'm going to grab it." For sure,
Actually, just thinking I'm sorry, I'm probably being quite particular because of Brad was the one that wrote the question, but I'm also
And
thinking...
he did call you really ugly, remember? So
yeah,
don't hold back.
I don't know why I'm trying to help him, but, what's one of the classic lines in gaming in our area? The shed sesh.
yeah,
Perfect venue for him to basically just invite a whole bunch of people over to play whatever systems they want to do and partake in that.
Or, even better, what he wants to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? He could
Shed's
get,
open. We're playing Blood Bowl. I've got 3 pitches set up. Let's roll, bitches.
He could run a one-night tournament
Yeah.
just for shits and giggles.
Yep.
But he could say shed session, right? He organises, I'm going to set the Infinity up. A couple of guys might want to play Blood Bowl. You can almost have a little convention at that point because he's got such a good setup to do that.
Yeah. Yep. And if you, as a part-time gamer, don't have that set up, then it gets a little trickier. But I think that comes back to, well, can you find a club? Can you find a group?
Planning.
Can you plan in advance
Yep.
what you can do there?
Mm.
So,
But you know what? Even I don't know. Like, yeah, you're right. That's the easiest way. But you know what? Trestle table from Bunnings costs $30. That, and then you can get a 4x4 MDF or a 6x4 sheet of MDF or a 3x3 MDF or no MDF at all if you're playing Rumble Slam.
Or Napoleonics, what we want, 8x12.
A field you want a field.
6x8 that we'll play on
You want a paddock.
when we do it.
You want Suncorp Stadium. Get onto it, right? But okay, so if you get a trestle table, basically a bit of wood, all right, another $20, you can go to most scenery can be printable. While it's fantasy and you're printing off a castle, or while it's infinity and printing off a container, so you can get all your scenery done via papercraft.
All I could think of was the Ninth Age.
Yeah.
Yeah, or 2D if you're a DT.
Laminate them. You're all good.
Yeah, off you go. So the point being that for very
It's only for premier tournaments.
for cheap money, and you know what? Don't even buy seats. Stand up and get some exercise and lose some weight. So it's
now you're assuming part-time
Hey,
gamers
hey,
over way.
hey,
That's
hey, hey.
I'm thinking of my own
just
self.
because you're a skinny bastard.
I'm thinking of my own self here. You get your exercise in, and off you go. So for like less than $100 easily, probably less than 50, you can have your garage. Most people have got a garage. You haven't got a garage, you got a garage port or a car port. So you can play on that if you're especially if you live in Queensland with our beautiful climate.
Well, you
Off you
almost.
go.
I'm just even thinking of you can almost just start your own club yourself.
yeah, I think that then you
Not
come back to the...
not saying an actual venue per se, but if you know people, you create a night where you all catch up
Yeah.
Yeah.
to play games.
Yep.
You
And if
own it though. You take it.
Book in something regular.
Yeah,
And that's the next bit I was going to say. Brad played our RPG every fortnight. He was there every session, didn't miss one because it was regular. So that's maybe what you need to do. And again, calling out Brad.
yeah. Well,
his
he asked a question, so
So I think that's something that too. If you can organise something regular and go right, well, I'm going to RPG every second Wednesday, and it's in your calendar, and the missus knows it, and the kids know it, and you
Yeah.
know it, and the
Yeah.
group knows it, and that's the night, and it works.
it totally works. And just one more piece of advice for Brad, because I've got plenty for Brad. March 17th, dude. I haven't seen a ticket sale for Brad.
Wow, is there any tickets left?
Mate,
Better get in
there's
quick.
still some tickets there, and I don't know why March 17th he hasn't booked it in on the calendar and given it to his missus, because there's a Rumble Slam tournament that he could be at a bar at with some pretty cool bros playing, well, one of the best games ever invented. What's wrong with him?
Black powder.
Ooh, yeah!
Sorry, that was a little savage. But no, in all seriousness.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah.
See what he just did there?
I know what he did.
Huh?
there.
My clever wordplay has taken the thought from my mind. Yeah, but Brad, come to the tournament. That was the thing. Ticket sales.
March 17th. How hard is it? $10.
Tickets from davesgames.com.au.
Dave's Games, mate. It's pretty easy to find.
In a pub
In a pub
Yep.
with
On
a KFC
on St. Patrick's Day.
on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. Events. Club events. Tournaments. That sort of stuff. These things are planned months in advance.
Yeah.
And again, it's that forethought, that planning that you can lock shit in.
Yep.
And yeah, your kid might shit herself on their way home from swimming that day. These things happen. And you have to deal with it, wash out the car. But at the same time,
Gurney.
you can always, even if you can't make the game, you can still pop in the afternoon when you're drying the seats off.
And hang out.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's what gaming actually is.
Yeah.
It's actually just socialising.
As I said, it's
It's-
for awkward people to socialise.
It's no different than going and hitting golf balls.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
I know.
Have our Chinese
Man.
grips arrived?
no, they are long gone, sunshine.
Man, that is
damn
just...
That's $8 I'll never get back.
Oh, my God.
So looking forward to it. I was hoping that would fix my game.
I ate the magic pill.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about my trip to the driving range last week?
No.
All right, that's a story for later.
Ooh.
How can you have a story for later about the driving range? Oh, where did you go?
I'll leave a little bit of mystery for
Okay.
the listeners. Yeah.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. Whoop.
Oh, wrecking shit.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think we've covered quite a bit of ground there.
Mm.
Any final thoughts, gents?
I think it comes down to if you want to play, make it happen. That's the simplest. That is the simplest thing I could possibly say about it. You just got to suck it up and you got to do it because no one's going to do it for you.
Yep. And I stand by what I said. I think it's a state of mind. I think it's like, I'm guilty of it, making excuses. Stop making excuses and get out there. Be a part of it.
Yep. No, I agree with all of that.
And temper that with everything in moderation. You know, like,
Of course,
don't go hard and then balls it up and get divorced. Whatever.
you're never going to be able to drink as much piss as you want. You're never going to be able to have all the women you want.
I don't know about that. I always challenge myself to drinking beers.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can never have enough. You can never have enough.
Oh, I've seen you have enough.
Oh no, no. And even at that point, I still think that's not enough.
Yeah.
So you
well,
wanna
that's
get-
true.
you
That
wanna
is
get-
very true.
You want to get to the point where your stomach's getting pumped.
Oh, that's never happened, and it never will happen because I can never have
It's the
enough.
Irish constitution there, mate.
Born with it, man. Born with it.
So if I was going to sum it up, I'd say planning, routine, be realistic.
Hey,
No excuses.
prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
Boom.
That sounds like an army sort of slogan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
No,
Yeah,
that's
nice.
right. So yeah, so I was going to say
You're pretty proud of
planning,
yourself, aren't you?
I can't remember. I remembered that. That's a lot of P's, right?
planning, routine, realism. Don't expect to be able to memorize every rule set ever.
Pick your rule set.
Pick your rule set.
Otherwise, you shoot
And-
yourself in the foot.
And find a group that you can be part of. And even, as I said, even if you're on the sidelines for 29 days in the month, that 30th where you can organise a game and you can get a bloke or a lady.
Or Sheila.
Is this what you do at the club?
Yep.
I'm going to go get a bloke. Only once a month, but... It was in a different postcode, did it count?
Brad had no problem with that. You know,
No.
he's a good looking bloke.
Yeah,
He's a good looking chap.
yeah.
He wouldn't have to
He's-
wait till 2 in the morning.
He's definitely he's got a type about him, hasn't he?
Oh, bubble boy.
So Brad, I hope that helped, mate. I hope that answered your question. We've given it a lot of thought and consideration. Let's be, that's more than I've put into a lot of things lately. If it's not Highland Titan, then, I haven't given it that much thought.
Such a neck beard.
Gents, anything else?
No, all good.
All right, we might leave it there and jump on to the next topic.
Snyder. Good.
You're listening to Power Stance Gaming Podcast. And now, this.
All right, so the next thing we want to talk about tonight, and we floated this in the previous cast, is we played a board game, Mr. Muddyman.
New Angeles, bruh.
Yeah, wow, what an accent. That's perfect Chicano right there.
Oh, there's Chicago. Is it Chicago?
No, Chicano.
Oh. I was trying to do Los Angeles.
Yeah. All right. But New Angeles is
joking.
actually in Ecuador, I think. Because it's new. It's not Los Angeles. It's the new Angeles.
I just thought it was a new, as names of cities change,
Yeah.
as Europeans would
I'm
know.
not super up on the...
So I just assumed that Los Angeles had now become New Angeles.
Yeah, no, I think I'm almost certain that it's in...
Oh, you guys are...
Yeah.
Yeah, I only played it once, so I got
Because
no
it's
idea.
New Angeles is based in the Netrunner universe.
Yeah, Netrunner and... Is it Android?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What's
this is...
Netrunner?
Are they like RPGs?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it started that way.
Yeah,
and
gotcha.
FFG have got the license, obviously, and they're pumping out some games. And they've
Yeah.
just released the source book for Genesis,
Mm-hmm.
which is apparently brilliant.
Oh, okay.
So, the setting is I don't want to say generic cyberpunk, but it's pretty generic cyberpunk.
Yeah.
So set in the future
Yeah.
at some point.
You get a lot of Infinity vibes with it.
Gotcha.
You would.
Okay.
You would.
Yep.
This is so New Angeles. The game is basically there's 5 corporations competing against each other. Six,
Ah,
but there's only 5 players when we played.
Yep. And
So-
the Federalist.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Shout out to JT, Big Mike, and Josh Bruce,
Yep.
who are our very wily opponents in the night.
Losers.
And Mr. Muddyman, why are you saying losers?
Because I won. And I didn't have a clue what I was doing.
Ah, it made me so angry because I knew you would win at the start of turn 6. I think we discussed this last week. Because the way it works is there's 6 corporations competing against one another, and there's a chance that one of the corporations is working for
The
the
government.
Federals, the government.
We're trying to shut down the companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So while you're competing with the other things, and like my objective card was you draw it randomly, and you've got to have more money than them at the end of the game. And if you get yourself, it's like you've got to have more money than 3 other competitors, which is really simple and straightforward.
Yep.
But the Federalists make the players lose. That's their objective. So there's like a threat tracker that counts up the threat as well. Anyway, as I said last cast, everyone thought I was the Federalist. I wasn't.
He's just got that look about him, though, hasn't he?
Totally.
I had a chance to,
looks like a
look at
Federalist.
the spare card and see if that was the Federalist card, and it wasn't. And I knew at that point
But it's too late.
it was Muddi,
It was too late.
and no one would believe me. So JT, JB, and Big Mike, eat a dick.
Suckers!
Anyway, the reason I wanted to bring it up was we're not doing a full-blown review because you didn't play it for starters, Greg, which makes it difficult.
And it is a complex game.
It is a complex game.
Like I'd never played it before, and Josh Bruce was giving us the rundown of it, basic format before we started to play. But there's still so much more to learn while you're playing. So even fifth turn, I was still learning things, and I imagine if I played it again tomorrow, I'd be still learning a lot of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a really good summary. It's the more you play it, the more you're going to get out of it. For lots of reasons. And as I said, we won't necessarily get into too much, but I thought aesthetically and components, FFG quality.
Yeah, the minis.
Brilliant, yeah.
The minis are good. The imagery looks good. I'm going to be honest. I didn't get an Infinity vibe. It seemed a bit darker for me because you with the threat levels and everything else, it just felt a bit more chaotic. Like I didn't get that real bright neon sort of lights that Infinity sometimes
Well, I think
sort of
you
has.
got to remember,
but
Infinity
you would like
has that,
it still,
like
Greg.
directly under the surface.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Infinity's only shiny neon on the surface.
Yeah, true. See, I
It's
don't know
like-
that. I don't know that universe enough. So
Yeah.
I just see the bright neons.
But
and
this one's definitely playing inside the shady, dark.
it's almost like the
Yeah.
Necromunda, where it's that darker element.
Yeah.
In the top's all nice and shiny.
It's
yeah.
like if Infinity was DC.
yeah.
and,
Yep.
Netrunner was Marvel.
Yep.
So you mentioned
I like
miniatures.
that.
I like that.
It comes with miniatures.
Yeah. So you had three?
Yeah, three different miniatures. Yeah.
Three different miniatures. I think one with was the right, the people.
Yep.
Where they start to write. Then you had some
Humans
guards.
First, I think they were called.
Yeah, they had some guards, which were like essentially a
Corsec.
police
Yeah,
type
so
force.
corporate security,
And then you had some mafia types.
organized crime.
Yeah.
So hang
And
on,
so they
all
would-
the same or
Yeah, all
different?
the same.
Right.
So they would just counters really to
Yeah.
show like there's organized crime in this location. Or
Oh,
there's
okay,
riots.
right.
Like,
And you basically, and when we were playing some of the cards, they would basically move around the board, going to the different elements of the board, like
Right.
different
Yeah.
cities,
Yep.
basically. But
and if they got to the end of the track, it would increase the threat level and that sort of stuff. So you wanted to deal with them kind of quickly if you needed to. If you
the
weren't a federalist.
interesting thing is the gateway, the elevator. What is it? To the stars or the moon or something?
Yeah, I think it's just an orbital elevator to get shit out of.
And if they got
ammo.
into that sent the threat track up again as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's more abstract than actual. They've gone into space.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
But it's like
Yeah.
if they get to all the way through the city,
Yep.
that's when the threat went up.
Mm.
But as I said, there's a couple of mechanics in there that I really wanted to have a chat about and sort
Okay.
of pick your brain and run them by you, Greg, as a developer.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a fair title to put on you.
Maybe.
You should get a shirt made up. The ladies would like.
I know a guy that can do shirts as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They're the same guys that sell PSG shirts.
Yeah,
that
check it out
everyone
on
should check
Facebook.
that out. Yeah.
shop. Yeah, get some quality merch. Actually, we sold a shirt the other day.
Oh, what?
I
We
know
sold a
it's been a
shirt.
while. We sold a Game Savage.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a classic.
Classic.
I got one of them.
Classy.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty
What colour?
grey. I think.
Oh, grey. That's good standard
Yeah.
colour.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
good standard.
That's a going out shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
It is definitely a go.
That
shirt.
will get conversations going.
What colour is your?
Pink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
It's really pink too.
Berry pink.
Is that going to be a Rumble Slam 17th of March t-shirt?
It might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Because if you're the TA, it'd be pretty easy to pick you out. It's the dude over there with that bright pink shirt on at the pub. Oh,
I've
no,
been
I'm
to
going to end up in a fight.
No.
A Kalanga Tavern.
I've been to Kalanga Tavern. There's plenty of high vis getting through that joint. So
Yeah, it's
don't
not
worry
pink.
about it. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
Say you thought it was a cricket day. It was a pink
Oh,
ball
yeah, the
cricket
Glenn
day.
McGrath.
Yeah,
ball.
yeah.
Glenn McGrath, yeah.
yeah.
No one's going to beat you up for breast cancer.
No. that's a sensitive. You can't do that.
Actually, you raise a bit of money. Beat Muddi up for breast cancer.
Hey! It's a bit harsh.
$100 to the Glenn McGrath Foundation, and
Got to take a licking. Oh,
Yeah.
Great, thanks.
So first mechanic I want to talk about.
All right.
And you will like this.
Oh, will I?
Hidden enemies. So with one player being the Federalist,
Mm-hmm.
you know that there's a chance that someone in the group is out to wreck you.
Doing sneaky business.
But
Yeah.
But essentially, you're going to have someone that's trying to beat you as well.
Yes.
Like, I could be from whatever my corporation is, and I've got to get more funds than yourself. So it's kind of the same thing. But I do like the idea that that there's a bad guy who's trying to essentially... Because one thing I think you need to bring up is the victory conditions are a little... It's kind of cool. You can have multiple winners,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
but you can also have everyone
Everybody
loses.
loses.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can have, well, one winner and everyone else loses. So
Yeah.
it's actually quite
That's
cool,
cool.
depending on who wins and how they win it.
How they do it.
Yeah.
Certainly with the hidden enemy, that reminds me of...
Battlestar Galactica.
no.
Yes.
The zombie game. Zombie
Dead of
board
Winter?
game. Dead Winter.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that.
Both those games have that mechanic
Yeah.
embedded in it. But see, Battlestar Galactica, someone is always the Cylon.
Cylon. Yeah. They don't necessarily... There's not always a Federalist.
Yeah.
Which I kind of
And same with
like.
Dead of Winter, there's
Yeah,
not
it's
always a
all-
betrayer.
Which I kind of like
There always
that.
is, isn't there?
No, not always.
No, not always. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I like that. Because you can't plan that there always is the Federalist, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
You don't know.
It's not a must-have.
Yeah.
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 Because you got someone who's got a crap poker face, they'll be like, yeah, it's all made over in the corner
Well,
for
see,
sure.
that's what you generally have a tell when things are going your way.
Do I?
Yeah, you do.
Do I?
I think so.
You bloody do. For
And I don't know
sure.
whether it was just you're a bit confused at the start and then you sort of warmed up to it, but I couldn't pick it
No.
until right at the end.
I had it. I just know maybe my face doesn't portray what I don't want it to portray.
Oh,
and you
is
get
that it?
suckered all the other times.
Yeah. Fair enough. So I'm just floating it out there as a gaming concept. It's something that I really love. Is that the idea of that maybe, but it's got to be a maybe. And I think that's the thing with the Cylon is someone's there, so there's that paranoia the whole time.
But that is that show. Like
Exactly,
it
yeah.
has to have it.
Thematic
as-
for Battlestar.
Yeah. Yep.
Whereas these ones, it's like, is he being shady or is he
Yeah.
is he being greedy?
I
And
think that's-
there's that.
I think that's good because if you didn't have that, it might be easier to pick the Federalist. And then if you can pick the Federalist, that kind of kills the Federalist as a player.
Totally.
Straight away.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're just done.
Yeah.
So by having that element of doubt, it validates that as a concept because if they were in there every time, it'd be easier to
Yeah.
get picked and ruin it. Yeah.
All right, brings me on to the next mechanic that I want to talk about.
Oh yeah. What's this one?
Cooperative, competitive co-op.
Okay.
Working
so
together,
working together,
but trying to win.
but
Yeah.
you can have multiple winners. So in this rule
you
set,
can.
it's kind of cool,
But you can't. There's always someone that's going to get boned.
and that's where the enterprise bargaining begins.
Yeah. So
This
This
is it.
So hang
This-
on. So have you got a way to entice people to come over and help you out?
yes. So
Right.
the way it works is basically the whole thing's about doing deals.
You
Yeah.
are
It's Monopoly.
Yep. So there's like
you're a
this-
corporation talking with
is-
other
Yeah.
corporations.
They go, right, here is an asset, and the person who has initiative for that round gets to place a bid on the asset.
Right. Okay. Yep.
And then it goes around the table, and people can offer counter bids, or they can add to your bid.
Yep. So they can essentially pass,
Gotcha. Yep.
and then they can put a card's face down
Yep.
to one of the parties that are involved
Yeah.
in the vote
And I
for
take
the
it those
asset.
cards can be bluffs or can be positives.
No, they
No,
all count as...
They all count.
Oh, right.
They all
Yeah.
count. But this is where we come up with the trade.
Yeah.
I'll say to you, you should do this because of this. And if you support me, it's almost like politics now.
Yeah.
You support me, this card, this asset, it has, let's say it has a constant ability, right? Where it gets passed around. Next turn, after I've used this ability, I'll give you the card.
Right.
And we did that.
Yeah, and that's interesting. It's even in the rules that say if you make a deal with someone and it's an instant thing, you have to do it. But if it doesn't happen straight away, you can always change your mind.
Wow. Oh, that's sneaky.
And that happened more than once.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To an angry Jacob table flipping rage monster.
Oh.
But this game, you really need the right people to play it, though.
Yeah, and I think that's
You're going to
probably my
love
thing
or
with
hate this one. I think.
competitive co-op. You got to have the right
Crew.
thing. And I found this because Charger Lasers is competitive co-op.
Yep.
That you could play that game and everyone wins if you work together, but that's not fun.
Yeah, Yeah.
So you can have a game where you're like working together for a common goal, but you still want to win. And I think it's different where there's a lot of those cooperation forcing games like Game of Thrones, the board game, springs to mind. You can't win that game on your own. You have to have alliances, but at some point you've got to break that alliance, and
You know it's coming.
yeah, you know it's coming
Yeah.
because it's Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this one, I think, it's an interesting sort of mechanic, and I really think it works when you have players that work within it.
Well, the fact that you're bargaining straight away, like you have to just get into the spirit of it. Like we were throwing the big terminology out there, and the hands are flicking out, and that's because we felt comfortable in that environment that we could kind of almost RPG it.
Yeah, it did take on
You
an
know-
RPG bent really quickly.
Yeah, and that made it fun. So you get into the character, get into the role, and you go with it.
Yeah.
If you've got a group that's not like that, I think this game could really struggle in that environment. So that's why I said I think it's going to be either love it or hate it type scenario, depending on which group you've got.
So any thoughts on competitive co-op, Greg?
Yeah, and only... Well, I'm trying to think the games. Charge Layers, obviously. And Dead of Winter is competitive co-op because you got to work together to achieve the common goal, but you're also playing against each other.
Well, you're not,
Well, you are, and you aren't.
unless you're the betrayer.
Yeah, true, because I was a betrayer, wasn't
Yeah.
I? Yeah, so it had a different slant on it.
Well,
Was
this
it
game,
rest-
this game as well has got you can have multiple winners, so you
Yeah.
don't necessarily have to screw anybody over. You
Yeah.
don't, as long as you achieve your victory conditions. You might not have to screw everybody over.
Certainly like the idea of getting into character. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was good. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
So are you coming around to RPGs?
I think after, like I've said to you guys before, like after we went through that one with Big Mike, it was an environment that I felt comfortable with. It feels a bit weird when we've got stuff recording, obviously, but if you have the right group and the right environment, that part can come out very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's why I premise everything I'm basically saying here tonight is that if you don't have that sort of level of comfort with that group, I think this game would struggle in that.
Yeah.
Which would be a shame because if you could just get the right people, you can have such a good time with this.
Yeah.
All right, and the third and the final one won't badger
What's
on
your third and final?
too much with it.
My victory.
No, it's the asset management of it. I found that really interesting that some players ended up with like a huge amount of assets in front of them, and each turn suddenly felt very bookkeeping like. All right, I'm going to use this ability that does this, which allows this, which allows this, and the combos started happening.
Well, that's
That was
FFG,
Big
isn't
Mike.
it?
It's very FFG.
Big
That's-
Mike was well tuned to that,
and
in the end.
JT,
And JT
was
did.
ripping
But I
it as
remember
well.
Big Mike went from like I think it was Big Mike. I think he went from like 0 to hero with just a couple of turns of his combos.
Yeah.
Was just boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
And to me, that was a bit of a downer on the game.
See, I didn't get to see that so much because my card was essentially just screw everybody over.
Yeah,
So you know what I mean? But
I know what you mean. Yeah,
So I wasn't trying to work assets, and I was just literally trying to throw votes on the asset that would screw it over the most.
yeah.
That's all I was realistically trying to do.
So what I found to me, that all that stuff we were just talking about the RPG-ness, about cutting deals, about doing all that stuff, suddenly turned into
A fantasy flight game.
card combos and
Yeah.
and that sort of stuff. So,
Which is a certain
and it
amount
was
of...
a real it was a buzzkill.
Yeah, I was going to say a certain amount of robotic... I want to say robotic... Robotic? Yeah,
Yep.
that's it. Robotic.
We'll edit that. Don't worry.
No, you won't. Roboticness, if you know what I mean. Like a certain, like it just happens. Off you go, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
But you do have to set these pieces up. And so, what I was going to say, because I wasn't sure how much in depth you were going to go with this tonight, and I think the more understanding you have of how the game plays, i.e., the corporations and what it is they require, the better you would be equipped to know what's going on with that stuff, especially.
Yeah.
Because that was the bit that I was like, what? Okay, he must have something that. Because I didn't have a card that really realistically gave me much of that sort of stuff because I was so focused on this other area. That's the area where I say it's almost like layers to this game, but that's where you would, the more you play it, the more you would learn.
And look, some players will find that really appealing.
That's got a bit
to
of,
build your deck in front of you and have all the combos and that sort of stuff. And I know Mike, JT, JB, that's their
They
bag.
went straight to it.
They love that. But for me, it felt like it took away from that. It was almost that real politic, like, cutting deals and that sort of stuff. And suddenly where a player can go, right, well, I'm going to tap this, do that, and I get all this money, and then that card's mine. And then it took the human element out of it, if you will.
Yeah.
And suddenly, as you said, it was like, that roboticness or
You're
dictated by cards rather than dictated by your interactions with your opponents.
You're playing maths.
Yeah. And look, I get it. Like, you're going to end up with that many assets in front of you. These things are going to happen. But for me, it was a bit of a buzzkill, and it took me out right at the end.
That element, I got.
And it only happened right at the end when people had the huge amounts of assets.
It was only
in front
probably
of
that last turn or two.
Yeah.
To me, that was like the share market.
Yeah.
That's how I sort of took it when I was watching all this. You guys do all this stuff. I was like, it kind of feels like the share market where you guys are now buying and selling lots of shares and all that trading that you don't see us doing verbally is going on in that world.
But to me, I think like it's right at the climax of the game. Crunch turns,
but
and that sort of stuff, and
in
then
the
it was
end, it didn't actually affect the game at all
because you were just a master manipulator.
No, but like
really,
maybe
that's what it comes down to.
Even with the manipulations of the maths that they've done via the share market, there still could have been unless without me boning everybody, right?
Yeah,
there could have been still multiple winners even within that system. Because on one of them, you only have to beat a certain faction, a certain corporation. So you might not need heaps of funds. You just got to have more than that guy.
Yeah. Like, I get it, but it's not necessarily the win condition. Yeah, I'm talking about it's the game mechanic
but it
itself.
just pulled you out of the game a little.
Yeah.
But
I mean, as I said,
that's a tough one.
To me, I think because it's right at the climax of the game.
Yeah,
where shit's got serious. We need all this stuff, and then people are just going, "Oh yeah, I'm just going to do this, and this, and this, and get all this money and stuff."
How important is the start of a game and the end of a game?
The start vary, the end can vary.
Because
I reckon.
Like, it's like a tournament, right? If your first game of a tournament is shit, you're kind of like, But worse is if the last game of your tournament was a pus game.
Yeah,
because
that's very true.
You walk out of the tournament going, Whereas if you get belted the first two games, and then you have all decent games afterwards, and the last game's just an absolute cracker, you walk away going, it's a kick-ass tournament.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's kind of likens it to this board game. Sorry, that's where I'm going with it.
Yeah, no, that's
is that the first few turns are kind of cool, everything's cool, and then it gets to the end of the game, the part where you're going to walk away from the game, and you've got this element that's dragging you out of the game.
Yeah,
and that's not your cup of tea.
No, not at all. No.
So it leaves a bit of a sour taste at the end.
Yeah, it's probably good analysis. Yeah. So yeah, as I said, that it's just a little bit of a bugbear, and it would stop me giving it 6 dice.
Oh, are you going to throw some dice at it?
Well, we won't because it's not a proper review. But if it was a proper review, that would be the thing that
you would have given it 6.
I would have given it 6 if it wasn't.
See,
I don't play
enough. I don't have enough board games to quantify what I would give it at. But I'd probably sit about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
If I was going to throw anything at it, because I had a really good time. But like to me, it was the human. Like we were just discussing, was the human interaction of it. We could have probably played Monopoly and it would have had just as much fun.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, if it's any consolation, it's on my wish list. So it should be in a Christmas, birthday, Father's Day.
Ooh, there you go.
Dented car.
What What's scary is how many cool board games are out there.
It's not scary. It's awesome.
It's
Golden
frightening.
age, baby.
It's a
Not for the part-time
it's a rabbit hole.
Not for
I
the part-time gamer, it's not.
Yeah, no, it's a
How are you
rabbit
gonna
hole. I
keep
just
up?
do not
But
want
you
to
know
go
what?
down.
I'm going to jump on it. It should be, because a part-time gamer can buy some kick-ass board games.
Yeah, and they're quick.
Part-time gamer says board game every Thursday.
Yeah.
I put on, here you go. Thursday nights, board game nights. Boys come over. I got pizzas. Mate, dudes are rocking up.
I'm there.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm allowed to leave the house.
Well, if you can get out,
But
you're
if
getting
it's
out.
a regular thing,
Yeah,
it's a different story.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like back to your RPG night.
Yeah.
You know, you organised that people came, throwing a pizza, and people just turn up and drink and have
Yeah.
a slice of pizza. Easy.
Well, I got a 7-Eleven right near my house, so we had snacks big
Boom. Mrs. Max Pies.
Skittles. Like when
What?
the boys found out I was partial to Skittles,
Yeah.
that was every weekend I'd have a couple of bags of Skittles for the RPGs.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I like Maltesers.
Oh, Maltesers. Stop it. Stop it.
Weird. Maltesers.
Maltesers.
It's such an old woman candy.
No way, man.
Oh,
Yes,
you know,
it is.
No,
What
no.
about
Especially when you suck them and they melt in your mouth.
Pringles? Oh, they're the devil.
Yeah,
They are
Pringles.
the
You can't
devil.
stop them, can you?
Do you know what I had
Just
on the
smash
way
out
over here,
the tin.
actually?
You didn't have Pringles.
No, I had a Redskin.
A Redskin?
Yep. I nicked it
Aren't
out
they
of
illegal?
The kids' candy.
Where did
Is
you
that
get
not-
that from,
is
man?
Is that not racist?
Did you get that
Oh,
from the
it's probably
train
racist.
station?
From the driving range.
They can't have that. They must be old. They're illegal.
I actually remember them being quite hard, but this one was very soft. I'm like, oh, this is not how I remember a Redskin. But maybe because it's been sitting up in the cupboard for God knows how long.
Fuck yeah.
It was a Halloween candy, so
Man, they had
yeah.
police kicking down doors for I used to get rid of them.
All right, gents, that's pretty much all I want to talk about New Angeles. But yeah, it's definitely it's on the shopping list. It's coming, and I really enjoyed it. But
Yep.
it's one little thing that kind of held it back on purpose.
Well, look, going from a 6 to a 5, and you play a lot of board games,
Mhm.
so it's pretty good.
That's bloody good.
and I'm actually really keen, Big Mike, when you're listening, to get a run through the book, the Netrunner book. When,
Oh, your RPG thing?
when he's finished drooling on it. So
You guys RPGing again? You gonna get a little crew going?
I'm think I might run a Star Wars game later in the year when the kids are a bit more manageable.
Manageable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
With your
maybe
Skittles.
yeah, definitely Skittles. Maybe even
Skittles on
thinking
top.
Clone Wars era.
Oh, bloody hell, Clone Wars. That would be good.
Yeah. When
So much
Muddi
to
gives gets me the source books.
Oh yeah,
From davesgames.com.au.
I'm working on that. Working on that.
It's actually, to our listeners, it sounds like it'd be really good to have a friend running a gaming store, but it's really enabling, like
He's such
crazy enabling.
He's such an asshole.
He's like, Muddi, can you get this? And go, give me, probably not, but I'll check. And then 30 minutes later, oh yeah, get whatever you want. Yeah.
It's like that,
He's
isn't
just
it?
got to send
Yeah.
a few emails out.
I don't think so. Don't count on it. But oh no, I'll get it. Yeah, whatever you want.
I was actually with the last batch. I was like, oh shit, they got access to this New Angeles. That was all on there too.
Yeah, I
can
saw
get
that.
it
I was
all.
just like, that was easy. One email.
Get everything, get it all.
Yeah. Pretty
So,
cool.
I actually stopped buying the Star Wars RPG books when we stopped our game a year and a half ago. When we stopped.
Yeah. How many are there? It looked like there was a lot.
There's a lot.
Because there's different. There was it Edge of Empire.
Then there's Age of Rebellion.
Age of-
and then there's
yeah,
Force
I-
and Destiny.
Yeah.
And I've got all of the Edge of Empire. Like that's
Yeah.
done.
That was is that the red
No, that's the white ones.
white ones? Okay.
And I've got 3/4 of Age of Rebellion.
Yeah.
But that's kind of when I stopped.
Yeah.
And they hadn't brought out the last ones yet. And they'd only had about half the range of
You're
Force
gonna
and
need
Destiny.
some more shelves because
Well, yeah, IKEA.
Good one.
I'm gonna add bookshelves.
I actually
to
went
my
to
store.
back to the plans of the house that we're going to build.
Yeah.
And I'm like just counting the shelves in the built-ins in my gaming room. And going,
Pushing
I
it.
might need to call the builder.
You wanna have
Maybe extend the gaming room.
basement.
Basement.
Yeah.
Well, I can extend the game room because it's going to be over the porch at the front of the house.
Do it
So I can build it out a little
as
bit.
far as possible.
Future expansion.
It's across the road.
I like it.
Yeah. I could get rid of the balcony on it and just push it.
Yeah, just
Further
push it
out.
Just
all
do that.
out.
Just do that.
Well, having a
Who's gonna-
balcony in my games room,
Who's going to use?
it's a step outside for refreshments.
35-degree day.
Nah, balcony's cool. Do you remember
Yeah.
when we went? Was it the dice spot?
Yeah.
We went to the one at Strathpine or whatever.
That's it. Yeah.
It had that
balcony.
little. Oh,
The balcony room.
yep.
Yeah.
How like that to
That
me
was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Like a conservatory. Real
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's like that was awesome.
Mm.
That was one of the best spots I've gamed in as far as a store was concerned ever.
Yeah.
Because you're on this little balcony. It just felt cool.
Yeah. Well, this balcony's not big enough to game on, but it's big enough to have a cool, refreshing beverage
I think you need to push it out
Yeah,
after
same here.
turn 3.
right out.
So yeah, go outside, get eaten by muzzies or sunburn and cancer, or have more air-conditioned space to play games.
No, enclosed. Enclose the balcony.
Yeah.
Not on my budget.
Oh, you can't go 20 foot out as well. Straight out.
Just sacrifice something else, like the fence.
Like my firstborn child. That might. Gents, we might leave it there on that cheery note.
Yeah.
Mr. Greg, thanks for your input tonight.
No, thank you.
It's my pleasure. Mr. Muddi,
Up.
are you okay?
Yeah, that was it.
That might have been having a stroke or
Nah, it's
something.
an army
No?
thing. Up.
You're good. Remember to check out our Facebook page, get involved. Workbench Wednesdays kicking off again. Hobby memes, trying to offend as many people as possible.
Are you triggered? Why not?
That's
We're
it.
trying.
And check out the shop.
Check out the shop.
Check out davesgames.com.au.
Check out that loser.
And,
And buy a shirt.
buy a ticket to the Rumble Slam tourney.
Yeah, what are you doing, Brad?
And
I know where you live.
if you do know a part-time gamer, make sure you give him some love.
Yeah, give him some.
I think we need a National Part-Time Gamer Love Week or something like that.
Give him a reach around.
Yeah. All right.
Is that another service Dave's Game's going to be offering?
I didn't have that option
I was
on my
going to
ticket.
rent you out. Is that all right, Greg?
Fine by me.
Greg will come around and give
Just
you
need the time.
give you a reach around.
And this is why we should have stopped recording 5 minutes ago. So, gents, good night.
That's an edit.
Thanks for listening to Power Stance Gaming Podcast. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and Podbean. Subscribe and review. You know you love us.